a fantastic Geelong supporter, stalwart of the club. He'll be sadly missed around Kardinia Park, Chris O.
Yes, he certainly will be, Andy. Thanks for that. And, gee, looking forward to this game. The Saints smashed last week by the Dogs in the contested footy, something that has been a strength, and up against one of the best in the competition. What a matchup that'll be. Scarlett and Gehrig. Fraser Gehrig been a little bit quiet. Will need a big one this afternoon if the Saints are to get over the line.
Goal with the big three up forward. Kaczynski, Gehrig, and also Revolt. There he is, Tom Harley, the skipper, matched up against him.
Good way to test the Cats' defence, I guess, as we're underway on Saturday afternoon footy.
One down, shot by Del Santo. Quick kick out of the pack. Hunt comes to meet it. Couldn't quite control it. Well done, Moon. Just gained 10 metres. Chance for Luke Ball. Oh, pushed in the back by Wojcinski. And Luke Ball, 55 from goal. Plenty of pressure on this St Kilda midfield that really succumbed last week. They'll be keen to do well. 55 metres from goal. Now he's called to play on. So just chips across. Oh, gee, Fisher under the pummel. Nice side step. Kicks inside attacking 50. Harvey, an unlikely target. Well done, Corey. Off to Enright. And Bartel back to Corey. And they run it out very, very well. Ablett. Corey kept going. Hard up against the line on the wing towards Kelly. Low down he marks.
Gee, sharp start for the Cats. Really making sure that they were going to run it at all costs. Hawkins. Maguire, an ideal matchup for him, I would have thought. Although Maguire, who gave away a lot of free kicks last year.
That was a sloppy one, Hutto. Free kick was there.
He only had 3, 4 and 18 against, and that's a lovely pass from Hawkins, who, let's be honest, got a few gifts last week up forward, and he's dished one off to Kelly on this occasion.
Just a little bit too easy, that whole build-up. We have a look at the free kick against Goose Maguire. It was there. It was stereotypical Geelong. Handball from half-back, and in the end, an easy, unaccounted mark.
So James Kelly just kicked the 1 goal this year so far. A little bit of a stuttering approach, but it makes no difference whatsoever. The Cats on the board after 2 minutes.
Well, if you had to explain to someone how the Cats play, they just displayed that then. They won the footy at half-back. Series of handballs. They play on more than any other side in the competition. Free kick we're having a look at again, but it's just that running, aggressive play on at all cost footy. And then their skill level's so good. Beautiful pass from the Tomahawk. First goal to the Cats.
Already Joel Corey's had 3 touches. He's had 30 touches or more in each game so far this year. He's in rare form.
Has been a start. This time King down to Del Santo. Handball back. Blake. Fisher now. Sam Fisher between half-back and centre towards Mill. Mill, nice little touch there. Lee Fisher, good handball. Now Goddard. Here's a chance for a quick reply from 45. He misses. Gee, that would have been great. Great return last week from Brendan Goddard. First game back since round 7 of last year after a knee reconstruction. Great to see him back in this St Kilda lineup.
It was a big positive for them, Dash, wasn't it, last week of Goddard?
It was. He played well, but you need to take those chances against the Cats. It was a poor miss.
They'll just shoot us down in flames. Milburn in trouble, and there's a little win, just a mini victory for Fraser and the Saints. Now we usually swap over commentary after a score. Chris O'Donnell, we might get another chance here. Going to be a shot for goal because that missed the lot. And Bartel saying he touched it. The umpire is saying that there was no one on the mark at the moment, so this is a great point of conjecture.
Watch it again. Oh, I don't know that he did he?
All the players going back initially for the throw-in, and now they're back ready for Montagna, who's lining up to have the shot.
The Port goal umpire was writing the behind in the book.
The throw-in!
They weren't sure, so they went to the lower result. All yours, Michael.
So an opportunity here for St Kilda. One out by King. Harvey, 45 from goal, chips it wide. Is that 15?
That was great strength from Stephen King in the ruck there. He just got rid of Mark Blake, set up this shot on goal.
So Lenny Hayes, an opportunity, will kick from 40 metres, but the angle quite acute, 60 degrees. This to put the Saints in front. Very deliberate, lovely kick off the boot, across the face, and a big leap by Kaczynski, but through 4 behind. So margin 3 points in favour of the Cats. Early stages of this big game at the Telstra Dome.
So whenever there's a few mistakes from a kick in. It puts the pressure on the next one, doesn't it? And that almost went to the hands of Robert Harvey, but Corey able to release for the Cats. Mooney really emphasising the push there from Hudson. I thought I said it was jumper holding. Mooney just found some good form late last week after just struggling a fraction. There wasn't a lot in that. Down to Ling. Oh, now, Darsh, you said you would have your house on the fact that Ling would go to Del Santo. I hope you didn't value your house too much. Looks like he's on Montagna.
He just pushed off him, Hutto, in case you're wondering. He has started on him.
Players have got very good at just falling forward, milking those pushing the back free kicks.
Good kick from Bartel. A chance for Steve Johnson down there, but it was a pretty crowded forward line, and Johnson couldn't make the most of it.
Paul Couch on screen there, the Brownlow medalist.
He looks a bit worried, doesn't he?
A bit pensive. We've only gone 5 minutes in the first quarter. And Cats circling here. Blake with a clear tap. Down to Ablett. It's a Saints free.
Jack Fisher holding off the ball.
Interesting that he's not with the tag, Lee Fisher, but he was being held on to. Said the umpire. Hayes is able to take it away. The Cats lead by 3.
Hayes now delivers onto the chest of Revolt. Back to Hayes. Good run from the Saints. Harvey now inside the centre square. Wide. Now it's got to come back. Let's quickly get down to Andy Marr.
There's no doubt there's a problem with Steve Johnson at the moment. He's had foot troubles in the past, and the doctor and the physio have been out to him. He is seriously affected by something at the moment.
Come back to you. Keep an eye on Andy. Off to Montagna. Deep into the pocket. Scarlett and Gehrig. One out war down there. Well done by Gehrig. Gained a few metres. Enright, though, up to it. And just paddles it to the line.
Does some early feel on the tap work of King versus Blake?
Oh, I think King's started really well. It was a clean head out. Just got rid of Blake there with strength. He'll be fired up to do the job today, King.
Back to the live action. The tap from Blake that time, but King had an important touch to ball, who got the adjustment just about right. But again, the Cats' defence right on the line, being forced to work overtime down there.
Early touches for Ball and Hayes and Del Santo. It's a good sign for the Saints.
It's a good feel, I reckon, for St Kilda. They haven't been able to capitalise yet. Harley put Milburn on the back foot. Ablett won't be rushed by anyone. Harley again to Chapman. Ablett and Chapman looking more and more alike each week. In fact, I know Gary's lost his brother in the team, Nathan, but he's gained one in Paul Chapman, I reckon. Here's Milburn floating across half-back. Handball to Steve Johnson. This will test out the foot or the ankle. And he kicked it just a little bit too much heat on. Bartel couldn't hang on. Milne did. Revolt running Harley around. And the Saints moving forward again. Montagna has more long kicks than just about anyone in the AFL. He went for Gehrig. Harley getting back to help out. And now Hunt's able to clear into the middle, and this is where the Cats can hurt. Johnson going forward.
Kicks it to the lead. Yes, Mooney. He takes it centimetre off the turf. And Cameron Mooney will kick from 45 metres.
Just a mark that Fraser Gehrig, when he's playing well, he had the best position. He marks that. Footy goes down the other end, and Cam Mooney now having a shot on goal. 5-7
from set shots this year, Cameron Mooney. In fact, no Geelong player has kicked more than 6 goals from just inside 50. Lovely kick off the boot. Geelong have their second. So despite the fact that St Kilda have done and most of the attacking in the opening few minutes, the Cats have a couple on the board.
When you're playing the best side in the competition, Chris, you just have to take your chances. Fraser Gehrig was in a great position, and he's a 100-goal kicker, so we know he can do it. Just a bit off his game at the moment. He drops one. They don't make a mistake. Geelong down the other end. Cam Mooney mark and goal.
Looked pretty animated, Cam Mooney, after kicking that goal.
Twice Hutto, the physio and the doctor separately came out to Steve Johnson. Both inquired about that right ankle or knee injury that he seemed to sustain, but he's just waved them off on both occasions and going fine.
Of course, there was the physical concern over him, or else he probably would have been at either Essendon or Collingwood. Out of the middle, Montagna, as Darsh said, getting plenty of the footy, but the Saints struggling to kick a goal. Harvey having an impact as well. This is his specialty, and it's there for all to see. And he finds Revolt, and this is what St Kilda now need, is just a Revolt to go back and drill this. As we look on the Johnson injury again, perhaps where it occurred, bit of an awkward landing early. So Nick Revolt, who has been a consistent goal kicker against the Cats, but he's never kicked more than 3 in a match, basically 2 and 3 in every game. So he'd love to get one on the board early, and that is beautiful off the boot. A real steadying influence there for the Saints.
Great start for Nick Revolt. He has looked very sharp on the lead. And it's a real confidence booster. It was a good take by Kazitsky. And Robert Harvey, he loves that pass over 20 metres. As good as Tom Harley's going, playing on Nick Revolt is a bigger challenge.
Margin 2 points, and look at that, clearances. St Kilda dominating, and Stephen King certainly been a big part of that. Justin Kazitsky will take this centre bounce, opposed to West. West went early. Kazitsky, beautiful tap. Montagna, little fumble. Selwood came through. Goddard now. Del Santo. Robert Harvey has got a lot of it early. Kicks into the centre. They're away here. Goddard off to Lee Fisher. Can he find a target? Hunt punch, didn't get it out of the area. Chance for Gilbert. Now Xavier Clark. Pelling to his own advantage. Gets good shepherd from Gilbert, but wasn't good enough. Taylor did well. Handball wasn't great towards Chapman, but he did well enough to get it over for a boundary throw-in.
Love the move of Kazitsky playing more minutes in the ruck. He's opposed to Trent West. He's just bolted out of that centre square bounce. He went all the way to the goal square. He'll kick goals if they leave him in there.
Harry Taylor on the ground now. Darcy could be another option for the Cats if the big forwards get away.
Absolutely. Surprised he started on the interchange, actually.
Here's Kazitsky sharing it around with Hayes and Blake and Goddard. So the Saints certainly getting the feel for the footy at the moment. And they're starting to move forward with a bit of authority to test the Cats. Hayes delivery good for Gilbert. The intruder into the forward line, Sam Gilbert, takes the mark. And he can put St Kilda in front. And he kicked 7 goals, 6 in his career of some 24 games.
Early signs are that they've responded to Saints. They've come out, they're 7-zip in the clearances. Midfielders are getting hold of the footy. St Kilda coaching box would be wrapped at the moment.
It's actually 8-zip now, Das. And Gilbert needs to convert for the Saints. And he has. And they are in front. We saw it with last Saturday night's game, Das, with Carlton were on top of Essendon until the Bombers were able to edge back in the stoppages. It's just such an important part, particularly here at the Dome.
I think Geelong would have been 8-zip down in the clearances for about 3 years. And it's a great start. Stephen King did the job early. And now I love Kazitsky in the ruck. It's a good move.
And look at that, 8-zip. St Kilda absolutely dominating in the clearances. And Geelong just can't get their hand on the footy in the centre square. Kazitsky, bounce favours West, who thumps it forward. Dempster kicks it forward towards half forward. Oh, not a great effort there by Selwood. Ball, able to capitalise. Mill, quick kick around the body. Kazitsky running hard now towards the goal square. Eluded him. Harley, and off to Scarlett. Cool, calm in the crisis, and kicks it to West. Scarlett continues to run. Wasn't a great kick. Was it 15? No play on the call. Hunt did superbly. Somehow got it back to Scarlett, who kept going towards half forward. Well done, Hodgson. At the 4, Montagna shares it with Hodgson. The intensity of this game is fantastic. Blake across the ground, and the mark's taken by Maguire.
I'd love to have him getting a fair bit of the footy. Penetrating kick, perhaps a little too ambitious. And Trent West showing a bit of versatility, getting back and linking up with Blake. So the Cats have got both their big tools out there, which is interesting, Das. So we watch Rook take it out of defence.
Yeah, just watching Kazitsky. He's been told, get in the centre square and run as hard forward as you can and try and score goals.
Oh, Steve Johnson, there's always something happening when he's around. Dempster with the job now. James Kelly just cruising along at half forward. Milburn, whose opponent kicked the last goal, he went through the eye of the needle. Gets to Johnson in the end. Forced to retreat though. The Saints having pretty much all facets of their game working well. Testing the Cats. Chapman to Ablett. Even he was forced to go onto the back foot. Chapman fires away at goal and can't produce the goods. In fact, it's still in play.
And Blake now, plenty of time. Uses the former Cat King. Back to Blake. Shares it with Maguire. Runs almost to the wing. Wasn't a great kick. Gehrig on the lead. Looking for support. Jones pushed out by Enright. Scarlett, superb. Ling Now the Brownlow medalist, Bartel. Off to Taylor. Blake, good hands. Got it back to Taylor. And he kicks and switches the play. Milburn. Chance again for the Cats to build. Got Selwood over the top. Selwood now not too much to go to, so he goes back to Milburn. Pressure coming from ball, but he kicks to Mooney. And Cameron Mooney is marked 40 from goal, 60-degree angle.
Maxie Hudson just slipped over then at the critical stage. Great build-up again from Geelong. Work the footy around, and they execute their skills so well. There's Cam Mooney with a little bit of space, and that's all he needs.
The time they took to switch the play the entire width of the ground was fantastic, and it opened up the fat side, allowing Mooney to run into space. Chance to put the Cats back in front. That is a superb kick. Geelong in front. So Cameron Mooney has his second. And Geelong, just in the last 2 or 3 minutes, look to be getting their game back in order.
Just got an ability to steady at the right time, Chris. So they had a fair bit of pressure applied to them. They don't panic. These old seasoned campaigners switch the play, and in the end Cam Mooney just got a bit of space a bit too easily.
Cam Mooney finding his range with 2 goals. Tom Hawkins on the bench. Andy, is he okay down there?
No, good as gold, Hutto. In fact, the bloke sitting alongside him, Corey Enright, absolutely spent when he came from the ground, but no problems appear to be existing for Tom Hawkins at the moment.
Yeah, Trent West playing at full forward for the Cats alongside Cam Mooney, who's kicking from outside the 40-metre range. Has been poor this year, but he's got 2 already today. Bartel, no Brownlow hangover for him. As diligent as ever was Hudson. Down to Steve Johnson, who's been busy without being damaging. That was creative. Kelly, Bartel, almost. Fiora, who started on the bench. Maguire, Stokes, all involved. Cats lead by 2. The big loping Blake and Dempster, the former Swan. King, eyes in the back of his head. Stokes, Fiora, Gamble. Great testament to his ability that the Cats have seen fit to squeeze him into the lineup, Das.
It is. I thought Shannon Burns was fairly stiff to go out of this side. Have a look at the kicking efficiency of Geelong. 73% to the Saints, just 54% of the time hitting the target.
What's interesting, isn't it? The Saints have dominated the clearances, but the Cats have used the ball much better. And they lead by 2. Evan Johnson can't find a way out of there.
King and Blake at it again in the ruck. They would have contested ball-ups and boundary throw-ins on about 8,000 occasions at training. They know each other so well.
Do you give away your form of training, Das?
Oh, you go pretty hard at training.
They go at it again. Fisher, well done by Blake. Ball over the top. Milne did well to shoot the handball off to Hayes, who kicks to an open half-forward line. Revolt on the lead. Now he's got runners left and right. Sam Fisher uses ball. Now no St Kilda player inside the attacking 50, so he's forced to go wide to Geary. Now they run back. Milne running back with the flight of the football, but he's got to beat a couple. And Harley comes across. And in the process, a free kick given away by Milne. And what was that for, he said, but in the process is given away 50. Here's the infringement. Grabbing of the hand.
Well,
looks like Hunt had a bit of jumper though.
Well, Milne's got a reasonable argument there. The umpire blew the whistle and said it was hanging on the jumper. Milne's jumper was being hung onto.
So the free kick to Hunt at centre half back for the Cats.
Who lead by 2, but Das, with the next breath, would be interesting to just get your early read on the match as to which side is playing the best footy. Mooney able to get it moving to Milburn. They've certainly got the machine working a bit better in the last 5 minutes. Kelly couldn't hang on. Revolt lending a hand back deep. This is Goddard now. Saints shoveling it around across half back. King gets a friendly old bump from his old mate Steve Johnson. Meantime, Xavier Clark's finding Clinton Jones.
Milne's out here, about 50 metres of space.
Even too far out to score for him, I would have thought, but he still might have the goals in his side, Stephen Milne. He got decked.
Free kick.
Hit the post, so it's going to have to come back.
Umpire Chamberlain was right on the spot, 5 metres away from that infringement. He had a good, hard, long look at it before he blew his whistle. I reckon it was there.
Yeah, free kick was there. In answer to your question, Hunter, I think the Saints, as Milne plays on,
and goes to Fiora, and he'll line up.
Yeah, smart option. Fiora can kick the distance from here. I think the Saints would be absolutely wrapped with their start. They're 2 points behind, but their midfielders have been involved. They've been committed and aggressive. Started really well.
Aaron Fiora did have 5 possessions in the third quarter last week when most of the Saints were struggling. Hasn't had a big year so far, but he's been handy at times. That would have been more than handy, and that tells the tale a bit for this opening quarter of missed opportunities for St Kilda. 2-5-17 to 3 straight 18.
Got to take your chances against the best side in the comp.
Stokes. Selwood. At half-back for the Cats, Ling. So St Kilda have been able to man them up in this passage, except there as Stokes is able to play on the overlap to Ablett, kick towards Kelly, who marks low down between centre and half forward. Very busy forward line, kicks to the lead of Gamble, couldn't quite hold on. Dempster now, need to keep your feet here. Dempster lost his, allows Gamble to get away, breaks the King tackle from 45, kicks to a very dangerous spot. The fierce chance for Hawkins. They need to knock it through the St Kilda defence. Hawkins has got it, shovels it out. Gamble couldn't find a way through. They still fight for it. And Lee Fisher now, as the board jars free, is able to handball. King back to Fisher. Well thought through by the St Kilda defence off to Hayes, who can relieve the pressure for the moment.
Kicks to a big one-on-one on the wing. Got good position early, Blake, but Milburn was able to work his way back into the contest, make it a 50-50. And the Cats, I think, will settle for a ball up. Ray Chamberlain's around, though. And he's going to play holding the ball.
Well done, Darren Milburn. That was a great contest.
He just worked the ball onto Blake, didn't he, and got it in there. Now Stokes is away to half forward. Hawkins and Fisher be exhausted from the last contest in the goal square, I think. Gee, Kelly's been dangerous across half forward. Hawkins with a little pass into the pocket. And Gamble's got away. And we've seen a little glimpse of what Geelong probably seen Gamble in the last minute or so, Dars.
Yeah, spot on, Hutto. Geez, they're unselfish. A lot of players there in Tom Hawkins' position would have blazed away and had a shot on goal.
Kicked 3 against Essendon, I think from just 7 kicks in round 2. Missed last week with the virus, and they've rushed him straight back into the team. Young Ryan Gamble, of course, wearing the number made famous at Kardinia Park by Peter Riccardi. This a very tight shot. We'll get a good look at it here. Might have just been able to sneak it in. Cat's very accurate. 4 straight to 2-5.
Must admit, I haven't seen a lot of Ryan Gamble's form in the VFL, but he must be going pretty well to break into this side. If Shannon Burns, who I did see play last week, and he was playing really well, and great opportunity. When you break into a great side, you've got to play well, and he started pretty well.
Ross Lyon would certainly be happy with the endeavour of his players, the competitive spirit that they've showed, but inaccuracy has cost them. 2-5 against 4 goals straight. Cats by 8 points. King and Blake. Blake wins this one and is able to find it on the ground, scrambles it forward, only as far as Sam Fisher. Well done, good pressure from West. Montagna was hurled. Oh, looked to play on there. Was able to go back. Hayes just over the top of Wojcinski, off to Jones. Back in this St Kilda side this afternoon. 1-out contest, that was hands in the back. And the free kick will go to Kazitsky against Harley. And Justin Kazitsky will kick from 35 metres.
Yeah, no problems with that, Chris. So that's a genuine push. They're the ones you like to see paid. Man in front gets the benefit of the doubt.
It was actually unnecessary by then, wasn't it, in the contest?
Exactly. He'd done all the hard work. 5-4 from set shots, Justin Kazitsky. And this a must-kick goal for the Saints from 35. He pops it through. Margin back to a point, and they desperately needed that just to get some sort of reward on the scoreboard, Luke, for what's been a pretty good quarter from them.
Well, it's been 8 scoring shots to 4, and they trailed by a behind. So you called it brilliantly, Chris. They needed that goal. And Kazitsky started forward, played some minutes in the ruck. That'll do his confidence the world of good.
Geelong not often headed in first quarters, as you can see there. They lead by 1. They're hanging on. They've got an awesome record here at the Telstra Dome as well. But the Saints giving them plenty to think about in this opening term. Blake getting it down, but Wojcinski can't find his way through, and in fact has been penalised for a throw.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Umpire pointing the wrong way for a moment, giving a bit of confusion to everyone. Clinton Jones. Now Harvey's got away short here, and he can run to the 50 and try and find a man. He goes for Revolt. Oh, Bartel crashes into Harley.
It's a beautiful pass again from Harvey, and I know I say it all the time, but Nick Revolt's eyes just light up across that distance. He just weighted it beautifully.
Darcy, you just get a sense of how much territory and how beautifully a bloke of his size moves down at ground level as well, Revolt.
He's causing Harley heaps of trouble, isn't he, Murray? Just with his athleticism and his running ability.
Well, Nick Revolt trying to cap off the Harvey work, and he can't. And scores a level. Now there's a whistle just to change the balls back in the goal square. That's Harvey's third score assist. I hope Doom's watching.
Scarlett finds Stokes in the back pocket. 3 minutes left in what's been a very entertaining opening quarter. Enright at half-back. Thought about kicking across the ground, switching the play, but instead decides to kick to Selwood, a NAB rising star of season 2007. Bartel, the Brownlow medalist. Gee, the accolades were unbelievable last year for the Cats. Bartel, Hawkins' strength, got past Harvey. Well done by Del Santo. Put his body in. Retrieves the footy, is tackled. Now what's the umpire going to do here? It spills free. Ling somehow was able to get it out of there. Corey, Bartel off a step towards half forward. Ball towards the back. Steve Johnson, was he held? He claimed the free kick. Ball somehow got it to Maguire. Look out, Graham, you're in trouble. Well done by Gamble. Good pressure. Steve Johnson finds it again at ground level. And eventually umpire Chamberlain comes in. Stephen King not happy. A bounce 30 metres from Geelong's goal.
Have a look at the strength of Cameron Ling in this bit of play. Just muscles his way up, dumps Aaron Fiora off his back. They are strong and hard bodies.
King and Blake. King, Montagna, King just jammed it on the boot. Gained 30 metres. Enright, well done. Came to Jones, Hayes, Fiora. Good run this by Montagna. Wasn't a great kick. Gave Scarlett a big look at it, and now the Cats outnumber 4-on-1 Kaczynski, but Kaczynski did superbly. Knocks it back to Montagna. His handball was knocked down by Hunt. It was intended for Ball, who would have run into an open goal. Still they fight on. Off now to Revolt, who can steady from 30 and kick the Saints in front. Great finish and some great competitive spirit by St Kilda in their forward half.
Well, a lot of teammates here are getting across to Justin Kaczynski. That effort there on the ground was just sensational for a bloke his height. And again, he cracks in again. He's 6'7". The endeavour of St Kilda has been enormous, and he's set up this goal to Nick Revolt. Well done, Kaczynski. The Saints have come to play, and we've got a great game in our hands. Have a look at this. For a big bloke who'd worked hard, Chris, it was just great work.
Gauntlet really been laid down to the Cats here at the Dome. Margin is 6. Saints ahead and looking dangerous. Tap down for Bartel, but the Cat Stars have not had a lot of room to move. Even Ablett has had 5 touches, hasn't had a big impact on the game. Saints build up here just by stealth, have got it into their 50. A free kick, an advantage paid to the Cats. Wojcinski emerging out to Bartel, trying to link up with Ablett or maybe something longer. Goes for Kelly, who's been good across half forward, keeping Graham very, very honest. But Graham wins the day this time. And the Saints are full of pep. And Ball pops it up for Kaczynski on the wing as they go forward again with 50 seconds to try and score another goal.
Driving kick deep. Revolt with the sit here. Over the top. He's got a chance. Good pressure from Enright. Was it a push in the back? No. Behind. So 4-7 plays 4 goals. 11 scoring shots to 4 as we watch the tackle from, it was one of those 50-50. Cats are able to bring it out.
He just avoided landing in his back, didn't he? Sort of took him down, but managed to fall.
Certainly carried him forward.
Yeah, but it landed beside Revolt, and that may have helped him out. Bit sloppy again for Geelong. Corey, his 7th possession, had a lot of them very early. Here's Fisher versus Steve Johnson. No doubt what Fisher wanted to do there, and he did it successfully.
Been a pretty good contest between Matt Maguire and Tom Hawkins. Maguire in his comeback game has started well.
Lenny Hayes, 12 possessions in this opening term. Free kick goes to Stephen King. And there's no doubt the clearances, 13 to 12, has been a telling reason behind St Kilda's lead at quarter time here at the Dome. They have certainly come to play. They've come to challenge the champs, and they lead by 7 at quarter time, Luke Darcy.
Well, that stat that you just gave us, Hutto, 13 to 2 in the clearances. That goes a long way to getting St Kilda in front. There's Nick Reebok on screen. He started really well. Kazitsky's been involved in the play, but if you're Ross Lyon, you come down at quarter time now and you say great effort, great intensity. You've responded well. Their midfielders have been fantastic. Lenny Hayes has had 12. Luke Ball's had 8. They're up and about.
Only visited the bench once so far this season, underlining just how important he is for Ross Lyon and his setup.
And just the one disposal today, Andy. Normally one of the prolific disposal winners for the Saints, running off half-back, but been very quiet in that
Had his hands full with James Kelly, didn't he?
He certainly has.
The other story of the first quarter was Saints misses. They lead by 7. They wouldn't be happy with that. They should be further ahead, shouldn't
Well,
they?
I said a couple of times, Hutto, against the best side of the comp, you've got to take your chances. They've got a few more, but they may go back and rue that in the end.
Let's get into the second quarter then. Saturday afternoon footy from the Dome. Blake got some hands on that one. Ling, Ball, who we know he and Hayes were busy laying tackles and burrowing in last week, even when they were struggling. But Saints certainly running a bit better on top of the ground. Hayes with 11 possessions and Ball with 8 in that opening quarter. So they're enjoying themselves, winning the footy. There we go again. Hayes back for Fisher. Gee, the path opened up for him, didn't it? Everyone running away. He ran through it. Revolt will always be committed. Milne in the perfect position. Does a little bit of Stephen Milneisms and then kicks it back to Revolt. No one expected that. Normally, once Milne starts doing his thing, he kicks and has a shot for goal, but he passed it beautifully for Revolt.
Yeah, it was great vision, and when the captain's available, make sure you kick it to him. It was a great kick. His opponent, Tom Harley, is struggling, and that matchup is a beauty for the Saints at the moment.
Well, Nick Revolt's never kicked more than 3 against the Cats. We're only a minute into the second quarter, and he's standing 30 metres away from kicking his 3rd for the day already. Oh, gee, it's on. Blake and King, old teammates, standing toe-to-toe. They were until they tripped each other over.
He doesn't fire up too often, Hutto, Big Kingy. He'll go about his business if you leave him alone. But I thought that there might have been a bit more in it with Blake over last year's grand final. And good on him. That's great stuff. Have a look at this. Well, that was Mark Blake. He pushed him into Revolt. And look at King go back. I thought there might have been a few fireworks, Hutto, between these two. We know Blake missed out on the grand final.
Well, you don't call that a firework?
It was great to see, mate. It was sensational.
Certainly was. Well, they'll go at it again here. Saints out by 13. King went.
That is a bad decision. That contest was always going to be great because they just come off having a crack at each other. Let that go.
Blake to half forward. Johnson couldn't control it. Corey did superbly to stand up in the tackle. Handball off to Johnson. Enright kicks it short, and the mark's taken by Ablett. Intent on playing on. Chips it to Johnson, who kept going. And there's the value of Steve Johnson, involved in the contest, 70 metres from goal. Just hightailed it to the pocket, and he'll kick from 25.
No one ever go at the umpires, but Ray Chamberlain, I mean, that ruins games, doesn't it? I mean, King, it's going to be a big contest. He's having a look, but that's a fine effort. Got to let that go.
Well, he ended up winning the tap. Steve Johnson for the quick reply, drills it. Margin back to 7, and a couple of early goals, a side apiece in the early couple of minutes of this second term.
I've got to calm down because when a game's going really well, this is a sensational game. You want the game to be played on its merits, and in the end, that was not a free kick, I think, that should have been paid. Geelong go down and kick an easy goal.
Great work from Steve Johnson, running really hard into that attacking 50 to get on the end of it.
So Geelong's accuracy keeping in the game, but you can see this is a huge challenge to Geelong's leaders, Das. The likes of Corey and Ablett and Mooney, Steve Johnson kicking that goal.
Another big centre bounce coming up here.
Well, let's watch it with interest. And no free kick that time, King to Del Santo, but they left it behind Blake. Selwood there to pounce. Hawkins hit it hard. We've said already, Maguire an ideal matchup for him. Hawkins improving all the time though. Corey, wrong side for Ling. Has time to get back onto his left, but doesn't do so. Goes for Chapman, and he did everything but take the mark. He still might end up with the goal, Paul Chapman. He's got a sixth sense as to where they are. He's a crack goal kicker.
Not very often you see Cameron Ling on the right foot. There's Bomber Thompson just looking on, looks pretty relaxed. That's a right foot kick from Cameron Ling. You'll count them on one hand by the end of the year, but it was an absolute beauty. Went to the right spot, and Paul Chapman, he does that so well, as Hutto said.
Paul Ablett.
Gee, it was clever stuff from Bartel, wasn't it? Keeping his opponent at bay and just knocking into the path of Chapman.
And of course, he's a central figure to the whole Geelong St Kilda history, isn't he? He talked up even back 4 or 5 years ago that he thought Geelong were as good, if not better, than St Kilda. And he ruffled a few feathers along the way.
So all of a sudden, margin back to 1 point. Bartel, that was a dubious looking handball. Ling around the body to a vacant centre half forward position. Chance for Kelly, off to Stokes. The Cats are running and Stokes kicks another 3 in 2 minutes. Oh, they looked. They're on the back foot, down 30 points. And they've kicked 3 in a couple of minutes. And have hit the front.
Well, it was a great hit out from Mark Blake. Won the clearance, which they haven't been able to do. And this is just champagne Geelong footy, running forward of the play and kicking goals at will. The momentum was all with St Kilda, and I know I've got to get off it, but it was the free kick that I didn't think should have been paid that has swung momentum back. The clearance went to Geelong, and now they're on a roll.
Well, that's right, the clearance went to the Cats, and that's what they were lacking. And on the way back to the middle, Kazitsky gave a little bump to Blake, so there's some feeling out in the middle. All the teammates trying to help their particular ruckman out. Johnson, the Cats, thrusting it forward. Corey involved. Bartel for Selwood. He's got Ling behind him if he needs it. He doesn't need him. He goes for Chapman again. Cats have had the last 4 clearances, and they might just have the last 4 goals if Chapman can kick truly here. 4 goals in 4 minutes, basically.
So important to win the footy out of the middle, and with the amount of talent that Geelong's got up there, they're going to score.
Stephen King coming off the ground and getting a few raspberries from the Cats fans. And of course, cheers from the Saints. So Paul Chapman, in pretty good goal kicking form in terms of accuracy this year, until I mentioned it. He hits the post. And it's Geelong's turn just to let the Saints off the hook a fraction. But we'll forgive them a blemish after kicking 7 straight.
Chris, you just get the sense down here that Geelong have enjoyed the challenge, that they've really lifted once they got a sniff of it.
Gee, it's an interesting game of footy, Andy. Del Santo to Goddard. Now the ball back in St Kilda's court. What can they muster? Hayes.
Well, they basically just haven't had the footy for the last 4 minutes, have they? And Geelong have been able to really punish.
Need to respond. Del Santo. Ball. Very busy in the opening quarter. Luke Ball. Good kick towards Sam Fisher. Ooh. Was bumped by, illegally, said the umpire, by Milburn. So Fisher with the footy. Decides to kick across to Graham. Look out. Was able to get a kick that only travelled 10 metres to Goddard. Under pressure, forced to kick it very high. Revolt up, couldn't take it. Xavier Clark at the fall. Out wide, Kazitsky steadies from 40, measures it and goals. So St Kilda head back. It's all locked up, man. This is one great game of footy.
And what a great contest this is by Nick Revolt. Launches himself at the footy. He's such a good player when he does that, and his big mate was the beneficiary. Pushed down hard and kicked a really important goal. There's Jason Graham on the interchange bench.
He's off.
He's gone off about the second time for the year, I think. Love Kaczynski going into the ruck now. Mark Blake has got to really watch him push forward. He'll run forward and try and score goals. Dangerous player.
So scores level.
You went straight at him there. Took your eyes off the ball.
No, you heard the explanation. Free to Kaczynski.
It's a square up.
Out the square. They don't do square ups, do they, Dars?
Apparently not.
Don't answer that, Dempster. You're on the rules committee. Surely you're going to put in a rule. No square ups. Dempster won't be rushed here. And the Cats with all their numbers back in front, so no room for the Saints to move in. Maguire can go short to Montagna if he wants to. Been told to go to the outer side, Maguire. He misfires a little. They get there eventually now. Opposition teams usually don't mind Max Hudson kicking the ball, but he does beautifully there. Finds Hayes, who's not the least bit worried by Harley's presence. He wanted a revolt. Milne was circling, as he always is, but the Cats' defence teaming up pretty well. Josh Hunt on his wrong side and handballing to Blake. That's probably not exactly how they imagined it, but the job is done with Corey getting it to Gamble. There's a fair bit of vacant space, but there's a couple of Saints back blocking the path for Gamble. Got great awareness, young Ryan Gamble. Hard to find a forward there with 3 Saints collapsing on Mooney. And now St.Kilda will have their turn to search. Kaczynski finding Montagna.
And halfback chips it over the top. Hayes involved again. Got it just backward of the wing. Lead by Lee Fisher. Gilbert confronted by Ablett. Oh, gee, that was a dubious-looking handball. Well done, Stokes. Knocks it into the path of Ablett. He's away, short, and Mooney's got it. 40 from goal directly in front. And all the running with the Saints. And this the turnover. You've got to know your limitations. And Sam Gilbert turned it over. And Cameron Mooney with an opportunity to put the Cats back in front. 7-7 from set shots so far in the year, so this will be interesting. He's missed to the right, so 7-8 now from Cam Mooney in front of goal.
Down the other end, the move's been made, and Tom Harley's off Nick Revolt, and it's Harry Taylor who's now got the job.
Do you think that might just be to give Harley a rest, Dars, or will they stick with that?
I think they're going to try and free Harley up for a while and get a loose man behind the play.
Dempster with the ball on the last line. The Saints now through Goddard, trying to get it out of defence. Maxie Hudson down for Maguire or Dempster. Not a prolific ball winner over the years for the Swans, Dempster. Terrific defensive player. Only averages 8 possessions per game. Stokes just gets there a fraction late. Hearts in mouth stuff for the Saints, but they'll get out of it okay. This is Goddard running freely through the middle. Graham's had a little word with the coach. He's reloaded. He's back out there in his more familiar position. Revo will go back, but Gehrig just edged out of it by Scarlett, who seems to have him covered at this stage. And Geelong through Bartel and Corey through the middle. Chapman, free kick.
I think Fraser Gehrig's been trying to play a bit of a decoy forward role and keep Matthew Scarlett out of the play. Had 8 possessions, Scarlett, so he's done it pretty well.
Off to Enright towards half forward. Hawkins up. Couldn't hold on. Finds it at ground level. He lost it again. And what's going to happen here? Free kick to Kelly, I think. Push in the back.
High contact, I think.
High contact, okay, so no one stands the mark, so he's able to run in from 45 and kick a goal for Geelong. Margin 7 points. They trail by 13 after Revolt kicked the opening goal of this second quarter, and they're winning the contested possessions 9-4 in this second term, which has made a difference, Luke.
And we spoke about that at quarter time. They had the contested board up and they were down by 7. Come out and answered that really well. It's just a great game. St Kilda playing well, and then this great Geelong side respond.
Concern for Paul Chapman, Andrew?
If Paul Chapman doesn't look 100% right, he's just come off, but Robert Harvey, even more importantly for the Saints, gone up into the rooms high in the quad, or maybe even the groin. They worked on it on the bench. No good down here. They took him inside for further work, so we'll keep an eye on him.
All right. Kaczynski winning it. Montagna inserting the Saints this time. Milne can't get there. Bit of pressure being applied, though, on the Enright by both Clark and Milne. No advantage. Didn't like that, Michael.
Now, I'm not sure that was there, Hutto.
Arms were waving everywhere in the commentary box. Sorry to dob you in. Hunt's kick to Stokes, who hasn't had a big say in proceedings. Kicks up to the wing.
Man down behind play there. I think that's Xavier Clark.
Rook's got himself into trouble. So have I. I think Chris is not happy with me as Ablett kicks the ball out to half forward.
Has not moved behind play, Xavier Clark.
Stokes to Selwood. Back to Wojcinski. And now Ablett. Back to Wojcinski. Back to Ablett. Back to Ablett. Cats just lairising a bit. Could lose it here. Wojcinski. Stokes. Dispossessed. Extra numbers with the Saints. That could have been a free to Revolt for being dumped. Scarlett in unlikely territory up at half forward. Selwood was just waiting in the wings and it came to him. High ball. Mooney will get there. He's a beacon up forward for the Cats.
Down the other end, the stretchers on the ground for Xavier Clark. They just needed to stop play. Have a look at what happened to Xavier Clark. And off the ball.
Gee.
He did not see that coming at all. Trying to pick up who got him.
Harry Taylor, is it? Trent West, in fact.
He has not moved, Xavier Clark. Stretchers on the ground, so we're going to go back and Cam Mooney will have to take his kick in a minute.
Just small things, Darcy. I mean, I know it's easy for us to say from here, but if they had been able to get the stretcher on the ground quicker, as we see it again.
Well, they actually had the stretcher out there, but you've got to wait until a stop in play, unless the footy's in the area. And not so sure about that.
So the umpires knew that the stretcher was out?
The umpire knew the stretcher was out.
Well, that's wrong because he should have blown the whistle and stopped play. But a great passage of play there by Geelong because they were tackled time after time, but they're able just to continue to fight, and eventually the kick came forward to centre half forward. Now, most clubs, I reckon, would have turned it over in that situation, but they kept going and going, and it's resulted in a kick at goal for Cam Mooney, which we'll see in a few moments. And sides gathered together. Look at that. Contested possessions were 31-23 at quarter time in favour of St Kilda. And we saw this last week with St Kilda. They're outnumbered 36 in the final three quarters with the best Western Bulldogs, and we've seen a similar trend in this second term. Andy Marr.
Yeah, they've been working on Paul Chapman's hamstring in the meantime. Chris O's been doing a few run-throughs, as we can see right now. He seems to be okay, itching to get back onto the ground, but let's keep an eye on that for the rest of the game.
Xavier Clark coming from the ground.
Gives the players a break, doesn't it? Halfway through the quarter too.
And just on that incident, I mean, he wasn't in a position where he would have been expecting any contact whatsoever.
Yeah, it was. Look, in fairness to West, he was within about 5 or 10 metres of the footy. As we have a look at it again, he just did not see him coming at all. And
but he wasn't chasing. He wasn't chasing and applying any pressure.
He was
a long way from the contest.
Don't think that's a great thing for St Kilda at the moment. They had momentum. They were playing really well. Chance to regroup now for them.
So Mooney, a powerful force up forward. He just has to get his kicking boots on, which have been a bit erratic this year. He had 6 goals, 7 coming in, and he started well with a couple of nice goals, but since then he's missed a few chances, and the margin is back to 8.
Also means that the Saints are going to be a player down. I'm not sure that Xavier Clark will come back. I don't think he will. And the talk at the moment is, can you win when you're a man down, or 2 men down?
Last night, didn't we, with the Bombers?
Good kick from Montagna, Kaczynski.
Can we just get back to Andy Marr? I can only see 2 St Kilda players on the bench down there, Andy.
Well, that's right, Hutto, because Harvey still hasn't resurfaced, so they might be 2 men down. It's going to really test that capacity after this.
Gehrig to Dempster to Milne, and Milne's marked 30 from goal, 30-degree angle. And he can go back and put the Saints to within a couple of points here. And after Geelong, they really dominated this second quarter after the early Revolt goal. Stephen Milne, 2-4 from set shots, and now 2-5. Normally very reliable on the run, but set shots, well, hasn't been his forte so far in season 2008. Margin, 7 points.
So we're halfway through the second quarter. High-scoring affair too, isn't it? 6-8 to 8-3. I guess we're used to that at the Dome. Ablett marking the kick in. And there's Harry Taylor. For Hunt, gee, it was a kick with confidence, wasn't it? There's a fair degree of danger involved. Scarlett, he's proving a pretty influential figure in this quarter for Geelong. So is this man Kelly. Gets a lead from Gamble and also from Johnson. And it goes to the young man. And the Saints have got a Gamble problem.
Yeah, they have. And how good is the kicking efficiency of Geelong? And we had a stat in the first quarter, they're at 75%. And they just kick the ball so well. That is just magnificent. Nothing a defender can do about that. So good by foot.
So Gamble from just inside the 50, or the 150 as it says on the ground. Starts it out right. It looks like it was going to come back, but never did. I thought he got it about right there, Dars.
Catches on sometimes in a game when people start missing goals. Can almost be like a disease.
Well, they kicked 7 goals straight, and now since then they've added 1-4, including a couple of posters. So Dempster's got it now in the back pocket.
Did you ever catch that disease, Dars?
not recently.
Good name for a song. Long kick towards the wing, over the top, reaching Maguire, couldn't quite pluck it. And what's the umpire going to do here? St Kilda free kick, I reckon. Yep.
Been good, King.
And it'll be taken by Maguire off to Del Santo. Casual bounce as he lopes through halfback, draws the player over the top to the hard-running Sam Fisher. Graham always got a problem here. Milne in trouble, real trouble. And he's been pinged. He's not going to give the ball up. He needs to be careful here. Needs to be very careful, Stephen Milne. Went right to the line there. Bartel off to Ablett, towards Mooney, but coming across Matt Maguire, lending his defence a hand.
Steve Johnson, just sorry, Chris, just in the pocket there, yelling to his teammate. Oh, there's Nick Del Santo. Look at that, 6 possessions for the day, only 1 kick in that lot. Sorry to interrupt, but Steve Johnson not happy with his teammates. There's a beautiful tap for Matthew Stokes. Well done, Lee Montagna, and he's going to get the reward.
It's a great tackle from Montagna. The intensity of this game has gone up. It's been at a high skilled pace from the start. That was Ryan Gamble saying hello to Nick Del Santo.
A couple of Geelong kids throwing their weight around against the Saints. Time run out for Montagna to the wing. Harley going back into the pack, but Del Santo smooth, but just not quite accurate enough for Gilbert, who's found himself up the ground a bit today, Sam Gilbert. Oh, I think he might have a bit of a holiday gamble after that.
Blake couldn't control Ling. Well done in the tackle. Got it to Ablett. Off to Harley. Off a step. Well smothered by Luke Ball, who's worked very hard today. Selwood running the wrong way. Oh, gee, that was a poor option. Back to Del Santo. He's got options to his outside. One of them's Hayes. Oh, surrounded. Great tackle and turns it over. Ling, Selwood. Tackle came from Ablett. Hunt now, and Rook's got it at centre-half back for the Cats. They run and spread. Taylor, pursued by Kaczynski, brought him down, but not before he got the kick away. At the back, Mooney reaches over the top. Got to pay the man in front. No, Plow's the call. Kelly, 50 from goal. Brings it back. West in a good spot here. Oh, couldn't quite hold on. Grabbing the footy. Well done by Wojcinski. I don't know whether Mooney touched it, but it's a goal to Geelong. Cat fans are static. Get down off the desk, Hutto.
Good on you.
And Geelong have another goal. Mooney, Sam Fisher just had a hand there. What do you reckon about that? Is that a mark to Fisher?
Well, just about on replay. Cam Mooney had a fair piece of it, but in the end it was all Sam Fisher who were in front. And the goal umpire...
Oh, gee, stood up too. Barrel chest of the goal umpire, just preventing him from falling over there.
Tough stuff from the goal umpire.
So it's out to 14, and the Saints potentially 2 down. What a transformation in this second term. Wojcinski's been crucial. Mooney will try and get back under it, but Wojcinski almost going all the way.
Crucial period coming up for the Saints. 6 minutes to go in the first half. They've thrown absolutely everything. Been fantastic. Having a look at hit out from Blake. Well done. Just jumped over King. Been a good contest, that one. So they really need to hold their own here. They'd love to score one more goal and go in just 9 points down at half-time.
Sam Fisher long. Blake did well. Find the front position. Support from Rook. Over the top. Harley. Stokes. Back to his captain. Off a step. Well, it wasn't a great option, that. Stephen King should nail this, and he does. He marks at half-back. Contested possessions 23-9. Geelong's way in this second term. It was 31-23 St Kilda's way in the first. King finds Dempster, and he completes the switch by finding Hudson. Plenty of time, plenty of space. Well, it wasn't a great kick. Gilbert shrugs off Stokes, got it to Dempster. Sam Fisher, well tackled by Selwood. Stokes finds the footy again and bottles it up.
That's been the difference, is the ability to hit your target by a foot. There was a kick from Hudson that's a 20-metre pass. You've just got to be able to hit. Geelong don't miss them. Saints do, and they turn it over.
Inside 50 count this quarter, 13-6. Make that 14-6. Stokes bouncing up Chapman. This will test out the Hemmies.
Well done.
Clinton Jones committed to the cause as he always is. Hayes able to work his way through. That's a reprieve for the Saints, and they worked hard for it. Fiora, Montagna, trying to engineer something off half-back. You can see his mind ticking over. He wants to run onto it if he can. Jones is kicking not always great. Milne, pretty tough there. What a quarter from Wojcinski. And they're never out of it, Geelong. Corey kicks in the Johnson direction. Free kick. Which way? It's going Geelong's way. Against Dempster.
Well, again, Hutto, it was just another skill error. Clinton Jones's kick, as we have a look at the free kick. Chopping of the arm.
Steve Johnson. They pay the ultimate price. The Cats lead by 21 points.
Well, it's a real danger period now for the Saints. They've been really brave. Dempster's free kick was just chopping of the arms against Steve Johnson. He makes you pay every time. Got to get themselves into this contest again, going to half-time with some real hope.
Pretty compelling evidence, that stat, Das.
And that will be on the board at the St Kilda half-time break. It'll really disappoint them because they won contested possession last week against the Bulldogs. Then they got smashed. They've done it again, won the first quarter and then been smashed in the second quarter.
I'd like to get to you in a moment, Andy, just about Harvey and the situation, but we're going to watch the action.
King scrambles it towards centre half forward. It was touch ball, but the Cats cool. Corey, Scarlett, Ling, now Wojcinski. There's electrifying pace, crashing through one tackle, but took a long time to get it to Chapman. Oh, gee. Gilbert had him on toast and gave away the free kick, so the Cats with an opportunity to go inside 50 again. They trailed by 13 points at the start of this quarter. Towards full forward. Now it comes to Stokes, well tackled by Montagna. Kelly, initially taken high by Graham. Hawkins was ridden forward. No free kick. And eventually the ball comes out. Umpire letting it go. Now he'll have to call for it now, surely he does. 25 metres from Geelong's goal.
I watched Luke Ball before, Andy. Tried to come off the ground. They wouldn't let him come off because there wasn't anyone to come back on.
No, and Robert Harvey's emerged from the dugout with that left thigh heavily bandaged, seriously restricted movement.
Blake with the tap, but it's okay for the Saints because Lenny Hayes, who's been a star with 18 possessions, has things under control. Now Maguire, Milne, Revolt. He's been quiet in the last 15 or 20 minutes, but he's really had no supplies.
He's tried really hard, working as hard as ever.
Fisher through the middle. This is better. Hayes, can he see a target? There really wasn't one for him. And they need someone to lead. Unlikely down there is Lee Fisher as the target. And he's almost marked it. And he might just have got a free. Advantage going to be paid. No, it's not going to be paid.
Corey Enright at the back of the jumper.
So is it Goddard 12 Fisher's free.
Fisher's free.
You had hold of his jump on his back.
Ray Chamberlain saying that
it's a free kick.
Corey Enright, little grab of the jumper. And they'll pay that every time.
He doesn't miss much, Ray. So all the talk was about the big three forwards. At the moment, though, the Saints requiring one of their defenders or on balls in Lee Fisher to put through a much-needed goal.
I don't mind Lee Fisher as a forward. He's going to be able to tackle and defend because that's what he knows best. And that was just a good contest. Enright and Milburn and these guys, they're so attacking, you need to be able to chase them out, and that's what Lee Fisher's there to do.
One possession in the last 15 minutes, Chriso.
Yes, and Harry Taylor with the job on the captain of St Kilda at the moment. Back to 15. St Kilda dearly love another one here before half-time. King and Blake. King gets it down. Enright comes to meet it. Finds it at ground level. Goddard was taken high. Free kick. St Kilda fans happy with a free kick in the centre square. Goddard. Long. Gehrig. Was he pushed out? No. Chance for Harley. Scarlett decides to come across the ground. Ling in a good position. That was a great kick from Scarlett. Travelled 50 metres and finds Cameron Ling at half back. Good running from Corey. Didn't have to break stride. Confronted by Lee Fisher, so forced to go back off the mark. Couple of minutes left in the half.
Does the Scarlett Gehrig matchup. Well, interested in your thoughts on that in a moment.
Corey got it back from Ablett. Wasn't a great kick. Oh, gee. Hudson missed a mark he should have taken. Gamble couldn't control it. Bartel off to Hawkins, who's been quiet. Kick into the pocket. Oh, big chance. Oh, gee. The slick handball from Mooney towards Johnson didn't quite come off. Maguire to mop up. Graham looking for the boundary line. All ball. And they work it out, the St Kilda defence. Boundary throw in the pocket.
Got no doubt that Ross Lyon said to Fraser Gehrig, I want you to play as a decoy forward and take Scarlett out of the play. Probably a little bit stiff there, Fraser. I think they would have been paid a lot in the past, so he's been trying to get Scarlett out of the contest. Been doing it okay.
Rook or Ablett both there to try and get on, and it is Rook who just can't get a boot to it. Great desperation from Graham and the Saints, and they can ill afford to concede another goal at this late stage in the first half. Scarlett with 12 possessions, Darcy. He has done a bit of damage, hasn't he?
Yeah, Gehrig just the 5 and hasn't scored a goal, so you'd say the win is to Scarlett and Geelong.
But Ross Lyon trying a few things. As we mentioned, Gilbert was pushed forward at one stage, and also Lee Fisher. Graham just kicking as far as he can. Hawkins bursting through and delivering pretty well to the forward line. Gamble gets legged. He's lively.
Having a look at Matt Maguire on screen, he is absolutely just blown himself out. He's on Tom Hawkins and he's just trying to stop him running.
Not a great kick from Gamble. Chapman trying to repeat his grand final hero, just couldn't. Stephen King with Stokes sweating off him. Now Fiora into full stride. Fancies his chances with a bit of support, but he's very one-sided. Has to go for the boundary line. And Geelong players appealing for deliberate. They might have a case, but it's such a long kick.
Just need to hold on to half-time. They're tired. They haven't been able to rotate with Xavier Clark being knocked out. Robert Harvey hasn't participated much of this quarter. Very tired, the Saints.
So a free kick coming back to Corey, and Fiora running out of defence looked up. The only man he could see was Corey Enright, and that's why he was forced to kick it towards the line and try and get back a 50-50. But 17 seconds for the Cats here. Taylor missed the opportunity. Enright, Wojcinski, who's been very good in this second term. Bartel's got it. Centre wing, great chase. Certainly was from Luke Ball, and they'll run out of time as a consequence, you'd think, as Ablett kicks it to the top of the goal square. But half-time, and a great comeback in that second quarter by the Cats. They lead by 16 points, and Maguire and Mooney getting involved.
Look at at Matthew Stokes getting in the road of Cam Mooney. That is fantastic stuff.
What did you make of the second quarter, Lee?
Well, the thing that... Absolutely, Marion. Having a look at there's Mark Blake on the screen. Him and Stephen King have gone head to head, and points to the old master King. 10 disposals to 5, and hit-outs to advantage. When he has got his hands on it, Stephen King, it's really benefited his side. It just shows that Geelong are absolutely going magnificently this year without Brad Ottens, who may be one of the most influential players in their side. So how good are they going to be when he comes back?
I think we need to just clarify the rules with Xavier Clark, Andrew. He's down there warming up. I suspect, we are clarifying that. I suspect that you can't come on for the rest of that quarter, but that he would legally be able to get back on the ground. Otherwise, there's not much point in doing the stretching. Second half underway.
Del Santo, Goddard. Oh, gee, it had too much on the handball. Back to Goddard, but he made a contest of it. Hayes, brilliantly done. Shoveled it through the pack to Montagna. Inside attacking 50, but Hunt drops back and takes the comfortable mark. Off to Milburn. Milburn a bounce. As he runs through centre half back, kick towards Kelly. It's been an enthralling battle, that. Kelly and Graham off to Chapman. Wide to Blake. Enright. Got time to assess. Kicks inside attacking 50 to Johnson. Couldn't quite hold on. Blake mobs up for the Saints. Off to Hayes. And Hayes, look out. Good chase from Gamble. Oh, gee, they mucked it up here, the Saints. But Gamble was 1 in about 4. Did well to do what he was able to do. But in the end, Blake comes away. Well done, Fiora. Off to Ball. He kicks it wide into the path of Revolt. Needs to be clean with his hands. Wasn't, although he'll get a second chance.
Well played.
Brilliantly done. Back to Goddard. Loose player at half forward. Aaron Fiora. Where will he go? He's got Graham inside. Loops the handball to Graham. This is what the Saints need. He drills it from 30. It's a touchdown. Oh dear. Didn't have enough elevation. Behind only. Andy quickly to clarify the stretcher rule.
Yeah, even though he came off on the stretcher, not through the interchange gates, he can come back on. He's got to wait 6.5 minutes from the opening bounce of this quarter, Xavier Clark.
Thank you, Andrew. Andrew here is Wojcinski on one of his trademark runs. One-on-one, Dempster and Johnson. Which way was the hanging on going?
Back here now, Stevie.
It was going
Steven.
against Johnson to Dempster. But there's only 2 on the bench down there for the Saints at the moment that I can see, Andy. Is there a third that can come back on? Can only see Jones and Clark. There might be another one out of eye contact. Hudson with a good handball that might just free up Goddard. Hudson down behind play. Let's hope he's okay. Goddard has the goals inside to a big Fraser. Gehrig takes the mark.
Max Hudson there, as you said, Hutto, down behind play, wanting to come off, and ran into Jimmy Bartell, who's a very thick-set man, and that was just clever play from Goddard. Could have blazed away. Smart pass.
It's his first mark inside 50 today. Looks like Hudson's okay, maybe just winded. So Fraser Gehrig needs to just do the job here, and that's exactly what he's done. Matthew Scarlett there questioning something. Maybe did he think it hit the post? We're looking at the replay of Maxie Hudson here.
Nothing in that.
Yeah, just hard bodies as we speak about always for Geelong. Not sure what Matty Scarlett was on about there, but first goal for the G-Train.
Hutto, there's some ducks and drakes going on down here with the St Kilda bench. Harves has just come back from the dugout. He's moving around like he was before the game. And when you look down moments before, Sam Fisher, who you can see now, was also down with Robert Harvey. His return looks proppy as anything. Robert Harvey right now looks $1 million.
Well, that's good news for St Kilda. Robert Harvey. And they've kicked the last 2 goals of the match deep into the second term. As we look at the St Kilda bench, Xavier Clark itching to get back onto the park. Blake wins it down into the path of Ablett. Well done by Montagna. Had 3 hanging off him. Still managed to gain a few metres, but eventually will get a bounce just inside the centre square at half forward for St Kilda.
Contested footy would be the interesting thing for this third quarter. It was all St Kilda in the first quarter, then Geelong smashed them in the second quarter. Whoever wins that will be really important.
Ling will gave it to Blake, who threw it. And another St Kilda free kick.
Didn't get a handball to it.
So, gee, they've come out fired up in this third quarter. Gilbert off to Hayes. Got time to really assess and measure, and he does know. Well done by Hunt. Just chipped in front of Gehrig. Uses Scarlett. Back to Hunt, who kicks back inside the corridor. Couple there, Bartel or Corey. Bartel finds Chapman. So cool and calm in defence. Paul Chapman. Long and wide. Mark taken by Corey. Short towards Mooney. Bounce first. Half volley. Play on's the call. Cameron Mooney making no attempt.
to be
Should be penalised.
No attempt.
Has to be.
No attempt. No attempt at all. Straight to him, Cam. Straight to him.
Free kick to St Kilda, Stephen King.
You have to say that was pretty poor by Mooney. Das, don't you think?
Yeah, I think he was trying to con the umpire that it was a mark.
The con was over, surely, by then.
It was time to give up the game, and he stuck to his guns.
Oh dear, he's enjoyable to watch, that's for sure. Hudson now streaming out of defence.
Revolt.
Goes as long as he can.
Poor
Taylor in front. Oh, that's a good mark, as you said. It wasn't a great kick to the advantage of Revolt, but great confidence from the kid to take the grab. Enright on the bounce. Tough one for Corey to handle. Ablett just got hung on to a moment too long.
That was clear, Luke, and you dragged him around.
He's got Wojcinski away here. Ling's further advanced if he wants, or some run from behind. Josh Hunt, we know he's got the big powerful boot. He's trying to tell Mooney where to go. Hawkins instead comes into the picture, and he fills the frame and takes the mark.
Yeah, strong contested grab. Jason Blake was in the picture there, coming across from the side and getting back to help out his fellow defenders. He just needed to kill that footy.
Take it out, guys. 5
Didn't happen.
Either side of the kicker.
Gee, that's incidental, isn't it? That sort of contact in the middle that produces.
This is Blake here across from the side. That footy's just got to be hit.
Robert Harvey back on the ground too, by the way. We'll get to that in a moment. So we watch Tom Hawkins. And he's guided it through. Cats back out to a 15-point lead.
Just have a look at this replay again. Josh Hunt, he was signalling saying, I want someone to come at me. And in the end, he was able to just square the footy up. That'll be looked at on the tape of the St Kilda positives and negatives. And Jason Blake, he'll understand that he wants to bring that footy to the ground.
So, Andy, I think St Kilda are just about full capacity now.
They are now, Hutto. Remarkably, you couldn't have given bad money for Robert Harvey coming back on in the second half. So restricted was he just before the long break, but remarkably he's back out there.
Geez, quite heavily strapped. Let's hope he can get through the game. Blake doing well, down to Ling, Selwood, good hands, Ablett, Wojcinski, they share it around again. Now Enright, kick towards half forward, diving attempt by Kelly, couldn't take it, committing his body hard at the footy there was Robert Harvey, the champ.
Harvey, hard tackle.
And then he gets up gingerly again. Oh, I tell you, I hope he can get through this game. Montagna draws the player. Oh, it's tripped by Mooney. Off to Fisher. Now Graham. Long towards half forward. Revolt's got to beat a couple. Pushed out by Taylor. No free kick. He's able to get back on the footy. Off to Scarlett. And this is Matthew Scarlett's forte. Sets it up so well to Bartel at halfback. Ling free on the wing. He can play on now. Mooney comes at him. Decides to kick towards the leader, Mooney. Well done, Hudson. Got the fist. Oh, too high. Now Mooney just plays on. Drives it long. Steve Johnson, the target. Gets Fisher out of the way. Finds the footy. Maguire put him off balance. He snaps back off balance. And as a consequence, can't pull it back far enough offline behind to Geelong. Here's a little trip.
Oh. What do you think, Das?
I think that will be looked at.
They'll be busy, won't they, out of this game? Who did Geelong play next week?
Just unnecessary from Cam Mooney, that one.
Del Santo linking up with Harvey. Montagna and now Dempster away. He's got Revolt at half forward. He's got a yard on Taylor. He needed better delivery than that. And you can see it's over the line and out of bounds.
Just the difference in delivery that Cam Mooney's getting at one end and Nick Ruvold at the other. I know where I'd like to be playing if I was one of those centre forwards.
So the margin's 16. West out-muscled by King, Hayes, Gilbert, and now Goddard able to release it. Milne will look up. He's got Revolt's already run down there. Kazitsky and Gehrig. Yes, almost. Not quite. Scarlett with him every step of the way and reaping the rewards as the ball hit the ground. Hawkins comes up to meet it, sharing it with Ling. Mooney's deep. Will it get through to him? Not cleanly. Chapman's ready to go into action, so too Kelly. Ling will come and come again, and that famous right foot that we saw earlier has produced a goal. Well, it wasn't famous until today, but now it is. Cats by 22.
There's the Gehrig attempt. Isn't it a game of centimetres? That's paid a mark. St Kilda kicking at a goal to bring the margin back to 10. And Geelong, they just hurt you on the way out. And the goal at the other end, and the margin's out to 22.
Well, we mentioned the kicking efficiency of Geelong, 76% of the time, and St Kilda just 60%. Makes such a difference if you're a forward. Good delivery.
Next goal, very important for St Kilda. King to Hayes, wrapped up immediately by Ablett.
Down to Andrew. Oh, it just gets sort of worse for St Kilda. Brendan Goddard's come off tight in the left hamstring, straight onto the work mat, and they're working on that right now.
West and King. Oh, King somehow got boot the ball as he fell to the ground. 2-on-1, Del Santo against Ling and Harley, and Ling emerges. Great kick. Look at that delivery. 55 from goal. Kelly just jams it on the boot, sets it up towards Mooney, and Hawkins! He pushed Maguire out of the way, and Hawkins is marked 10 metres from goal.
How have you assessed his game today, Luke?
He's had a good battle with Matty Maguire in his first game back, and you can just see the difference in conditioning. He's looking for petrol tickets at the moment, big Matty Maguire, and I think as this game wears on, just the physical size of this bloke, couldn't believe standing next to him today. He's a man mountain.
Already kicked one in the quarter. Has he kicked it? Yes. Not too much excitement there on the face of Tom Hawkins, but he has his second, and all of a sudden it's out to 28 points.
That man there on the lead-up, James Kelly, he has been fantastic. He's virtually played centre forward today. Had the role on Jason Graham, led up so well to the footy, and we spoke about their kicking efficiency, and this big man down in the goal square.
Whether you weren't sure there was a goal or not. Now we're looking at Lee Montagna down there, Andrew. I think Xavier Clark's on the ground, which is great.
It is, Hutto, but the run that's on the St Kilda bench at the moment, Goddard, Hayes, Del Santo and Montagna, all on the bench at the one time.
That is phenomenal, isn't it? That is a fair few planks of their A-grade midfield, sitting on the mat.
Well, if they can stay in the contest and get him back fresh, it'll be a positive.
Kazitsky, the rocking and the roving. Harley versus Clark. Hunt. And now Geelong generating off half-back as they do so well. Selwood's kick, doubling back Gamble. Being held for a moment there by Fisher. Gamble persisted and he's going to win a free for his efforts.
Handball in front.
Got Mooney down in the goal square, and Hawkins also deciding to go there a bit more gradually with Joel Selwood, who last week had his worst game statistically wise since his debut. Just 10 possessions. And had a few moments early today, but has been pretty good since quarter time. Scarlett trying to pinpoint, and almost not quite for Milburn, the unlikely forward. Back for Corey, just sharing it around, just trying to probe through this St Kilda defence. Selwood decides that maybe the foot is a better weapon, and Josh Hunt's got a pretty good weapon on him into the pocket, and Stokes
starting to remind me, Hutto, this Geelong side of the great triple premiership Brisbane side. They are so strong through the body. They run so hard and they just walk into games. They expect to win them and they wear sides down. You can go with them for a quarter, but as the game wears on, they just get better and better.
So Matthew Stokes, he has begun the season in outstanding form, averaging a couple of goals a game. He's never played on a losing side at the Dome, and that doesn't look like changing just at the moment. He's got 2, and the Cats leading now by almost 6 goals.
Actually, you can start creating a bit of an aura about yourself when you play this brand of footy that Geelong do. Opposition sides watch it and you sit at home.
I thought you were talking about yourself there for a moment.
The opposition sides sit at home, Hutto, and they start to think, I'm not sure that they can be beaten.
Contested possessions in the last 10 minutes, and much like the second quarter, Geelong dominating. And it's the reason this match has turned right around. Kazitsky fighting hard at ground level after winning the knock. Ball tigerishly trying to get it through, but couldn't. Ablett, Gilbert now bouncing off a couple. Ball gets boot to ball towards half forward. Revolt couldn't take it. Hunt mopping up again off to Scarlett. We've seen that a few times today. And Scarlett bursts from half back with a bounce. Sweeping handball to accommodate Bartel. Kelly again leading up. Off to Wojcinski, who tucks it under the arm. He's away. Wojcinski runs to 40, pops it on the boot and kicks a beauty. There's not too many exciting things to watch in football than David Wojcinski in full flight as he was there, streaming through half forward with blistering speed, and the finish was perfect. And the Cats just keep getting better and better. The margin now is blown out to 40 points.
Just electrifying that, isn't it? He had a player right up his backside, took him on, and that blistering speed. It's just such a great mix, the Geelong side, isn't it? When you've got someone like him who's as quick as anyone in the comp, plus the hard, strong bodies. Behind the play there, Nick Revolt went into a contested situation. He got up sore. Just gets worse and worse for the Saints.
Saints are outscored last week after quarter time by 75 points. Today it's 45, but I would have thought totally different scenario, even though, again, they've been beaten in the contested possession since quarter time. It's a different level of opposition.
The stat since quarter time is they've lost it 56 to 23 contested possession since quarter time.
You think that's more bad St Kilda or good Geelong as Bartel sends them forward again? Goddard back on the ground, looked a little ginger but was able to slap it away. Fisher, Harley leading Kazitsky to the ball and getting great protection. They work for each other. They're swinging into action. They're lining up. Even the big bloke West thinks he can do what a rover normally does. Off to Selwood. Is it his turn to score a goal? I think it might be. All of a sudden, it's 46 points the difference, boys.
Well, it's could end up being an absolute disaster this for the Saints. They threw everything at them. They were so brave in the first half. We know they've had a few injury concerns, but you can't allow this to turn into a smashing. They've got to find a way to get themselves competitive in the ground. We can see a few people in there scratching their heads. They've got to come up with a better effort. It's got to start winning the contested footy.
Look at that average, 78 points in Geelong's last 7 games here at the Dome.
Hayes off to ball. The Cats have kicked the last 6. Big contest. Ball spills towards Montagna. Tackled by Wojcinski. Off to Jones, who hoisted very high. It'll land in the goal square. Revolt up. Couldn't take it. Clark kicks it out on the full. So just can't take a trick at the moment, St Kilda. Fullback comes towards Harley. Numbers here with St Kilda. They should win this contest. Ball does very well. Off to Blake. Jones, loose player at centre half forward. Xavier Clark, 60 from goal. No one stands the mark, so he plays on, has another shot. That's a lovely looking kick. He's got the carry. Milburn getting back and destroying the football. as we've so often seen, are behind only to St Kilda.
Great to see Xavier Clark back up and looking like he's got all his wits about him. He copped a massive knock. Great effort.
Groan from the Saints fans as Wojcinski is clear and hitting Hawkins on the lead up. Big Blake to take the mark. Crowd normally roars when he gets near it. Hawkins will be a favourite in the future. That not a great kick, but Steve Johnson sometimes can turn that to goal. Kelly left it behind. Kazitsky working overtime, but not as fast or as skillful, and has summed up the situation as Kelly, who laid the tackle. And it's going to come back to James Kelly.
Full credit to Mark Blake, because he pushed Kazitsky all the way up the ground there, and then when Kozzy got the footy, he was just a bit tired. He didn't have that explosiveness in his legs. The longer this game's gone on, Mark Blake has looked better and better.
Dishes off the handball. Little Stokes puts his whole body into the kick, but misses to the right. Interesting decision for Kelly to actually play on there with the handball dust, but anyway, the margin is back to 46.
Very unselfish side, Geelong.
Del Santo into Luke Ball. That's what's ahead of him. Not much. Been called to play on, but no one's standing the mark, so for the moment at least he can take his time. Sam Fisher.
You think back to those misses in the first quarter, Das, and even just a few kicks here that haven't quite made the distance and so forth, and as you said, it's a game of inches, isn't it?
Well, their effort and endeavour to start the game, you cannot question that. They've thrown everything at this side, and as I mentioned earlier, this Geelong side is starting to build an aura about them where you're sitting here thinking, how can anyone beat them? And it's a scary proposition. You think Brad Otten's to come back in this side as well.
Blake leading after was turned over. The kick from Goddard, Enright, wide. Hawkins, plenty of space, just forward of the wing, chips it towards half forward. Steve Johnson overruns it, boundary throw in at half forward. The interesting thing also is that not one Geelong player has kicked more than 2 goals today, and coming into the game, 3 players had kicked 6 goals in 3 games, and then another 5 have kicked 4 goals.
Just saw that kicking efficiency stat again. They've just been so efficient by foot. Been amazing.
Blake with the creative hands, and Gilbert. Audacious play for Big Fraser. Let's see what he's got left in the tank. Scarlett not too far away, and Fraser adept on his right foot for Nick Riewoldt, who looks up, and he's got Harvey on the 50, but he's going to be more ambitious than that. Gilbert wouldn't have much left either after his long run, but he's been able to take the mark. He's already kicked a goal today.
And just good delivery by foot, wasn't it? The little right footer from Gehrig had to hit the mark. And then this kick from big Nick Riewoldt. That's Geelong-like. They slide into marks. You can't defend against that. And the good thing for the St Kilda supporters, they've got a couple of areas to work on, and they'll be a good side.
So Sam Gilbert, very steady over the ball and delivers a goal for the Saints.
Big Fraser, well, he hasn't had an enormous impact on this game. His role, I believe, was to try and limit the effect of Matty Scarlett. Well, Scarlett's had 17 possessions and been a fairly good player. And Big Fraser has had some impact, but not to the standard that we know he can play.
The big three have actually contributed 6 out of their 9 goals today, Das, for the Saints, but hasn't been enough.
Still not convinced that the man about to take the centre square bounce, Kazitsky. I think he should be in there a lot more of the time.
Well, he won that, but straight to Chapman, who drives it forward, wide. Hudson and Mooney, they both overrun it. Maguire backing up. Off to Hudson. Now Goddard in support. Back to Graham. Dumps it long. Gee, set a task for Blake. Had to beat a couple. Well done by Harley, fisting it away. And we'll get a boundary thrown at half forward for the Saints.
I thought we might have seen Charlie Gardner today, boys. The ex-Geelong player had a great pre-season. Played really well throughout the NAB Cup series. I thought he might have been a chance to get a game today against his old side.
Particularly with Michael Gardner out in terms of their structure.
Gilbert off to Montagna. Knocked down, though, by Rook, who soccers it forward, gains 30 metres. Sam Fisher needs support. Harvey bumped off it by Corey. Well tackled by Fisher, but he was able to get the handball in the Rook direction, and he earned a free kick. So Geelong, in fact, advantage. That was a dubious one, as it's kicked towards Mooney. off the boot of Steve Johnson. A few players had stopped there after that decision, and the question being asked of umpire Chamberlain.
The advantage was, I was watching all that, Christo, the advantage was a bit of an afterthought, really, wasn't it?
Well, it was, and unless it's continuous, you've got to pull the ball back. Anyway, Cameron Mooney, as good as directly in front from 40 metres. Hasn't had his kicking boots on today, and he's missed another one from, in front. Certainly, he's missed a couple of easy ones today. He'll be disappointed with his conversion.
Goddard brings it back for Montagna. Fraser working awfully hard up. Oh, he's just cleaned up the Geelong trainer. Oh, sensational stuff.
He got up well, the trainer. I tell you, he got the full force of Big Fraser.
He's given away the free, the trainer, even though Fraser ran into him. Hands in the back. In fact, I was trying to think who it was talking about this as a tactic yesterday, Das. If you're in, just run into a trainer and you'll get the free kick.
Well, maybe he was smarter than all of us, Fraser.
Revolt kicks the ball centrally to Sam Fisher, who kicks long to a vacant square. Not vacant for long. Actually, I've just remembered who it was. It's John Barnes, who's now the Bulldogs runner. And he did it. Someone ran into him in the pre-season, and he said, you might do that in a game and get a free for your team.
Cats stream forward. Chapman now with a bounce. He can draw a player, give it back to Steve Johnson, who waltzes into 30 and just pops it over the top, through for another. Effortless. .47 points now the margin. And when the Geelong machine clicks into third even, Luke, it's unstoppable.
I love the way they've just got an ability to find another gear, and they team so effectively. Steve Johnson, he runs incredibly hard up the ground and then pushes back equally as hard. Paul Chapman, you look across this side, it's so even, it's so well balanced. You've got a bit of speed in Wojcinski. Gary Ablett provides that bit of brilliance.
There's Fraser running through the trainer.
Did he mean to do it?
Couldn't tell, but they're all having a good laugh down on the Geelong bench. Remember last week the Adelaide trainer stayed down for a while, didn't he?
Gee, needed another stretcher.
Credit to the Geelong man, he bounced up very well.
The train colliding with the trainer.
It was. Nice work.
That was pretty bad, wasn't it? 47 points is the margin.
Hold of his jumper there. Kingy's kick.
It's been an interesting duel this all day, hasn't it? Kingy has probably shaded him, but Mark Blake, just with his youth and his athleticism, has fought back pretty well.
Oh, Fiora got himself into a bit of a mess there, but he got out of it cleanly. That's good, crisp play by the Saints. Deserved a goal to finish it off. Del Santo couldn't produce, which reminds me of an old criticism of the Saints, which is that their midfielders have never really been goal-kicking midfielders, have they? And perhaps Lee Montagna an exception to that.
Yeah, it's a fair point. It's probably something that Robert Harvey, as great a player is, and he's one of the better players that they've seen.
You're not bagging Harvey as well, eh?
Far from it. Far from it. We were speaking about kicking goals, and he's never done a lot of that.
Hunt towards Steve Johnson. Sam Fisher right with him. Concedes ground. Maguire. Now advantage paid towards Kazitsky, who marks in front of his face on centre wing. Runners inside. One of them, Del Santo, will want his left side. Kicks out in front of Revolt, and he's got it right on the boundary line in the pocket. Wants to play on and does. Beautiful handball to Milne. He'll kick a goal here, Stephen Milne. And the Saints get one back. Good work from Nick Revolt. Just assessing the situation very quickly and playing on, giving Milne the opportunity.
We know how hard Nick Revolt works. He just is a tireless presenter at the footy, and he works equally hard back, and it was smart play here. He really has suffered today from the delivery. At times at the start of the game, I thought he had Tom Harley completely beaten, and then the footy was sat up in his head. It missed him a lot, and he's battled with that.
Pretty important here that St Kilda maintain their intensity, Das. Even for this game, you know, we've seen big swings of momentum, but certainly for what they're going to get out of this match. Just
for their own confidence going forward, and for their supporters. And if you get belted, it can take the wind out of your sails. They need to stay strong here.
King got a deft touch out of the middle, allows Del Santo to clear it, but not in any meaningful way. Kelly was good, so was Chapman, so was Ling with the quick kicks. Hawkins just gave up on the contest for a moment. Quick kick away to the wing, and The Dempster kick finds Jones. Was closing in around him, but he thought his way through it nicely. Xavier Clark with the last change of direction.
Great
Was
kick.
Excellent stuff, wasn't it, for Milne?
They need the footy in the hands more of Xavier Clark. We know he got absolutely poleaxed at the start of the game. Very brave effort to come back out and have an impact on the game. Nick Dale Sando, they're really good users of footy. They need them to win the footy more often. It's a great kick.
Stephen Milne's been busy today, buzzing around, but only the one goal. What can you say about that?
Not much. He's always better off running around and snapping that around his body.
Has he psyched himself out of it with the set shots at goal, or is it a technique thing? What is it?
I think he just prefers it around the body. He loves playing on. He's a very, very good kick. It's just going back and getting his routine right.
So Rook off to Taylor. Jabs it towards Harley. Blake pursuing him. Harley paddles to his own advantage. Keep your feet, boys. Blake goes to ground, but did well to get it out to Kazitsky, who provided some support. Jones close to the line and now over. So a boundary thrown between wing and half forward for the Saints with just 30 seconds left on the clock. And as we look at the Milne kick again, gee, missed by a long way. Like one of your wedges at a green, Hutto. Shanked out to the right. Bounce.
That's Cameron Ling there wrapping Nick Dale Sando up. As we said before the game, that was a matchup that was always going to happen. They played on each other all day. I've watched Nick Dale Sando closely. He's been battling and trying as hard as he possibly can. He's just still not in the best touch that he's ever been in. And Cameron Ling has had 18 disposals and probably to the 14 of Nick Dale Sando. So you've got to say that Ling's won this duel, but Dale Sando's work rate has been very good.
You've been secretly watching me play golf, Chris.
Goddard taken over by Bartel and dumped. Boundary throwing. So 11 seconds left in the quarter as we look at the St Kilda interchange. Harvey and Hayes getting some treatment. Chance for ball. Now, with 4 seconds left on the clock, a St Kilda free kick to Luke Ball. Chips it to Xavier Clark, but the Saints will run out of time here as he hoists it high towards centre half forward. Selwood destroys it. Three-quarter time. Outstanding quarter of football by Geelong. And at the final break, their lead is 40 points.
Possession count. Let's have a look at the score at the MCG. Fairly one-way traffic there as well with North Melbourne and Melbourne. So the Kangaroos there, a 50-odd point lead at three-quarter time. We're ready for the last quarter. And we've said already how important it is that St Kilda put their best foot forward in this last term. Let's see what they're going to come up with. And indeed, Darcy might early on get you to think about what some of the moves that Ross Lyon does swing and what else he could do.
Well, the one he has done is Fraser Gehrig on the interchange, Revolt and Kazitsky forward.
King does battle with Blake again, knocks it down, but straight to Bartel. Gary Ablett, ineffective handball. Corey got it clear. Selwood, just a hand across the throat from Hayes was enough to earn him the free kick. Just backward of the centre circle. Joel Selwood thought about giving it off. Not too much movement on the Geelong forward line. Gets some run though from Scarlett from behind, who kicks towards half forward. Mooney comes to meet it. Difficult half volley. Hayes, Sam Fisher, Jones. Got runners to his inside, and Sam Fisher kept going. Good play. Fisher now on the outside of the boot towards half forward. Up Harley. Hunt keeps the ball in front of him and does well. Off to Harley, and his kick towards Ablett, who can't take the mark. Well done, Fiora. Pushed out was Del Santo. No free kick, and we'll get a bounce.
Chris, so just that kick again. It was Sam Fisher. He had enough time. He had Revolt going back hard towards goal, and he's just shanked the little 30-metre ball. Should have really is on screen. He just wanted to kick that about 20 metres further. Revolt was going back with the flight.
Sam Fisher, one of the Saints that we've been keeping an eye on from a medical point of view during the day. Ball as desperate as ever, but it is a St Kilda free to Ball. And it's Hayes who goes short to Montana. Now Blake's on here. If he just lowered the eyes.
Kick.
Again, the bad kick. Hunt really should have probably done a little better himself. Jones just disposed of by the Cats. Blake showing his dexterity. Ling dropped that ball. The umpire spotted it.
Oh, hang on.
It's a drop kick.
Exactly.
Ling having a bit of a wry smile there. Brett Roseberry.
The drop kick's been umpired out of the game.
Well, I'll come back to that shortly, but let's have a look at Nick Del Santo. On a good day, he could kick a goal from there, but he decided to go for Stephen King.
Geelong fans just giving the Bronx cheers.
Let's hark back to the good old days of footy here with the drop kick.
Gave it away when he changed legs.
So Stephen King, 77 goals in his 197 games, and that total not growing by that kick. The margin 39 for the Cats.
Hunt into the back pocket. Scarlett now called to play on Matthew Scarlett. Stalked by Clark off to Stokes. And well-placed kick to the advantage of Harley, who marks at half-back now. He's been called to play on as well. Back inside. Oh, got a bit of a problem here. Too fancy from Milburn. Ball to the congestion to Del Santo, who concedes ground back to Milne. Loose player at half-forward. One of them Clark, one of them Blake, but just muscling his way to the front was Steve Johnson. Almost earned a free kick. Blake off to King again. Wide. Montagna off a step, and he finds Kazitsky. And he'll kick from 40 on a slight angle.
Just seems to be a better setup. Xavier Clark has come back on and been pretty good really since he's got back involved in the play, but it just seems to be better with two big tall targets rather than three. I'd still like to see Fraser be the deep one and this man in the ruck more.
They've had the last 7 inside 50, St Kilda.
Kicked a couple of goals. Kazitsky, that's a pretty good kick. He kicks his third. So a good start to this final term by St Kilda, and they pull the margin back to 33 points.
Yeah, great to see the perseverance of the Saints, and they need to stay in this game and compete right to the last siren, because they came here, really performed well in the first quarter. It'd be a real disappointment to see them drop off.
Gloomy little look there from Fraser Gehrig. He's watching on at the moment. Early stages of the last term. Can the Saints get a bit of momentum going here? Montagna for Jones. Kept on going, Montagna. Plenty of distance on the kick. Oh, great work from Revolt. He got there just at the right time. Scarlett had engaged Kazitsky, but Revolt showing his experience and strength against Harry Taylor.
And it was equally good work, Hutto, from Kazitsky behind. He made sure that Scarlett couldn't come in third man. If we can get a view of the bodywork, there's Kazitsky. He actually engaged Scarlett, made sure that he was busy with him, and you know Revolt's going to go back because he's just so brave.
This gives them half a sniff, Darcy, if he can kick this.
You're an optimist, Hutto.
Half a sniff. And if he can kick it. And you see...
Well, that's two bad misses, isn't it? One from Revolt there and the other by Milne deep into the third quarter. 2 goals that should have been kicked. Blake now off to Ling. Concedes back to Scarlett, who's been so good all day again. His kick looking for Selwood didn't quite hit the target, and a boundary thrown between halfback and wing.
Has the Cats' intensity just dropped a little bit?
Yeah, it probably has, but credit to St Kilda. It would have been very easy for them to come out in the last quarter and give it away. They're persevering really well.
Great tap by King, but Stokes was able to run onto it. Rook. Oh, gee, tigerish play, gets it through. In fact, the handball too fierce for Selwood. He goes back to get it. Ling off the right boot, that famous right boot towards half forward. Up comes Mooney. Look out. Kelly's got it. Well tackled, brought to the ground, and the umpire will ball it up, I would suggest. No, he's pinged him.
You took him on and you didn't make an attempt. You tried to break through the tackle.
Gee, didn't make an attempt, and 50. Thank you very much. Well,
that's got to be justifiable back chat, surely.
provocation, you reckon, Andy?
I mean, seriously, how can that be holding the ball?
So it's resulted in a St Kilda shot at goal. Although Luke Ball now, lots of talk about Luke Ball's capacity to kick 50 metres plus. He decides not to take it on again, kicks it out wide, and the clever mark's taken by Hawkins.
Great anticipation shown by Hawkins for Steve Johnson, who marked and played on straight away. We're going to get a free kick rather than the 50, I think.
No. You went to play on, and then it's in the back.
Oh, did he?
I think he did. He did. He didn't stop. He kept on moving. Mind you, the umpire hadn't called play on, which is what they normally say, isn't it? Anyway, Paul Chapman. Cats play on off a mark more than any other team in the competition, up over 50% of the time. Bartel outpointed in the end by Clark. Free kick advantage taken by Montagna, who's carrying the ball well. His 25th possession coming out. Taylor playing in front that time and able to nullify Revolt.
Just wondering again why they recruited Charlie Gardner, obviously for a specific role. That would be where you'd love to see him leading up. That's what he does well, and keeping Revolt closer to goal.
And I think St Kilda have played their best footy this year through the NAB Cup and in their first round with Gardner in the lineup. Again, Ablett refusing to be hurried. The world just seemed to stop for him for a moment. Bartel, Geelong trying to generate some run and carry, but Saints manning up pretty well just at the moment. Enright's got a loosie if he can see him, and he does. And it's Steve Johnson who goes to work at half forward, inside 50. He doesn't have a shot for goal, does the unselfish thing, and Mooney finishes it off by kicking it into the middle of the third tier.
Just great team play, this, isn't it? He loves the goal, Steve Johnson, more than anyone in the competition. So he would have been in some mind going, I'll just slot this one through, which he could have done, but it just it's the way they play. It's what their group's all about, being unselfish and supporting your teammate. And Cam Mooney goes over and says, thanks, Jono.
Ross Lyon, Tony Elshaw. And the lead by the Cats, 39 points. And after the Saints led by 7 at quarter time. 4-7 to 4 goals it was at quarter time. 11 shots to 4. But St Kilda wasteful. And they've paid the price for that. King, beautiful tap into the path of Hayes, who feeds it back to Del Santo. Fisher around the body, looking for Jones, but just getting away from him. He couldn't. He tried to pull it back to Hayes, but couldn't. Boundary throw in on the wing, the City wing.
This is Stephen King almost back to his best, really. Jumping really well. The flick over the head, and it was a really good set play to Lenny Hayes.
He's had 9 hit-outs to advantage today, Das.
He's been great.
Great handball from Chapman. Sets in right away. Speaking of bad kicks, that was a poor one. Dempster, well done. Gathers the footy. Oh, gee, no. That's a shocker as well. Scrambling it towards half forward. Hunt. Plenty of support. Enright, Bartel, back to Enright. Confronted, so forced to go back to Hunt, who can measure the kick into the corridor. That was a poor kick. Gee, they've all got it now. Del Santo, can he find a target? Yes, Revolt marks at centre half forward. Off to Luke Ball, who chips into the pocket, and Stephen Milne, he'll play on this time from 20 metres. He goes.
How did you know he was going to play on?
Well, he should play on every time because his set shot goal kicking today has been abominable. He's been shanking everything. When he does this, you don't even question whether he's going to kick it. Oh. Never in doubt, boys. He loves that.
So it's back to 33. We've seen a few errors from both teams, haven't we, in disposal in the last 5 minutes. Saints trying to finish with a flourish here. Certainly a respectable scoreline now. In front of 44,000. King continues to dominate out of the middle. Geelong with an extra number across half back. Joel Corey there to meet the ball and then sets a bit of a task for Tom Hawkins. A task that was made even more difficult by the cruel bounce. Saints galore across half back. Hudson out to Montagna to Goddard. And just chipping along the line for Gilbert. He's got Montagna still running for him. And
good kick.
Revolt running Taylor under the footy and missing by a fair way too.
Their passages of play where they've looked more dangerous, it's been their good kicks. It was Goddard who set that up, who really uses the footy well. Montagna uses the footy well. when it's been in the hands of the wrong, less skillful players, they tend to turn it over.
Bartel. That's what's ahead of him. He sees the break from Chapman and kicks beautifully to him. Scarlett running past. Just ignored it for the moment, but allowed Scarlett to just crib an extra 10 metres and then found him on the run, and he delivers. Good work from Graham, fisting away from Kelly. Fisher tries to crush his way through, can't. Lee Fisher now. Ball, little give to Harvey, back to Hayes. Good pressure by the Cats. Kick is touched, so Chapman tackled. Umpire letting it go. Now Chapman dived back on the ball, but the umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt, and we'll get a bounce on the wing.
Margin at 32. Again, King with the more influence on the tap. Might have thought he was still playing for the Cats there because it was the advantage of Ablett and Bartel. And now Rook from just outside 50. Didn't blaze away. Went for Mooney. Didn't make it particularly easy for him. Maguire is now his opponent. Maguire slung.
Moose! You're free, Moose! You're free!
Moose. It's called him Moose.
That's what the free's for.
It's Goose.
Who's the goose there?
Raise the Goose.
Well, Matanya clearing it for Stephen King. If you're going to call him my nickname, get it right. Dempster kicks with purpose out of the fence. Can we get a replay of that in the audio? Blake to full forward. Revolt in the middle of the pack. Kaczynski almost had the last say. But the Cats have got some numbers here. They all look at each other. And Harley finally takes out Kaczynski. Corey did actually get a handball on that. Maybe just. Kaczynski trying to spy Jones. And Jones just can't get boot to ball. They've come so close to kicking a lot more goals today, St Kilda.
Free kick's been picked out here. Brendan Goddard spoiled. Just looking at Nick Revolt, a couple of times he's got up really, really slowly and he's looked sore and he's been in some hard physical contests. It's not what you want for St Kilda fans. Is one of the great players in the competition to be just not travelling physically as well as you'd like.
Well, we know he's had the knee problems in the pre-season.
There he is, getting Brendan Goddard some treatment, and the kick is turned over by Bartel. Mark taken by Hayes, kicks it deep. Now Revolt at the back, but had to beat a couple. Taylor, Harley combined with Milburn. Underground handball back to Harley and Taylor, and the three went out. The kick going back is not great though. Oh gee, Hayes I thought took the mark, wasn't paid. Graham off to Montagna, back to Graham, had to kick it quickly into the pocket, and underneath it is Jones. He'll kick from 30 metres. Thought about going, decided against it.
You're right on the mark. Clinton, he's right on the mark. You're right on your angle.
Great attack,
wasn't it just? And found the footy as well. Little fumble there from Jones, but he gets a chance here to redeem himself. The margin is 31. This will bring it back to 25. Awkward kicking action. Jags it right. Behind only. So an even 5 goals in it now. Interestingly enough, 27 scoring shots apiece.
And sometimes that can be misleading, but I don't think it's... I mean, they've had a lot of opportunities today, Das.
Yeah, well, they did early. Probably missed some that they could have kicked early, and
yeah, the sting a little bit out of the game now, I suppose, as Steve Johnson goes to half forward. Tough one for Mooney to handle. Maguire takes it out. Was it deliberate? I don't think so.
That persevered really well, though, Hutto, St Kilda. I mean, I thought that this might have turned into pretty dejected-looking Saints.
I thought he was going to penalise Moose there.
The inside 50s are 49 each at the moment. There's Fisher for Graham. Clever. Harvey just couldn't take it with him. Again, Montagna. Big West over the top of him. Jones, King. All Geelong on the wing. Although Fisher's not going to die wondering. Harassing Kelly and winning the footy. Good diligent play. Sets Blake up. Now Revolt's got some space. Kaczynski coming as well, but steadfast is Milburn. And he's got Stokes running away.
Stokes marks at half-back. Revolt chases, but to no avail. Ling. Well done, Del Santo. Got a fist in there, putting plenty of pressure on. Ling. Somehow he was able to get the hands free. Long enough to get the handball off to Chapman, who drills it onto the chest of Steve Johnson. He might just go for this, Steve Johnson. Wobbles it to the goal square at the back. Oh, too good. Hawkins is marked a metre from goal. He'll come round directly in front. And I know they were disappointed at losing Nathan Ablett. Gives them an extra forward, but he's just stepped in.
He actually almost played on then, Tom Hawkins.
Well, he didn't, according to the umpire. So he'll pop it through for his third goal. Margin now 36 points in favour of the Cats. Good mark this, Luke.
Yeah, it's a beauty.
Wobbling old ball.
I know this may be disputed, but I think they've gained something this year. I think he adds more to the side than Nathan Ablett did. And he's I keep saying it, he's enormous, Hunter. He makes you look like a very small man.
Dash just cracking himself up here. 19-9 to 12-15. Blake having a run in the ruck. So that's interesting. That was an old Grant Thomas tactic, wasn't it, for Jason Blake to be the backup ruckman?
Wasn't a big fan of ruckman, was he?
No, he wasn't. He said he liked good ruckman, just didn't like bad ruckman. Hudston on the wing. So I don't know what he thought of you, Dash, but anyway. Revolt cheering it with his lookalike Clinton Jones. High up and under. Mark that, Kaczynski. Scarlett says, I'll take it, no problems. Oh, dangerous kick. Harvey, good anticipation, just couldn't get the job completed. Fisher out for Milne. It's in a play-on situation, but even then he couldn't kick the goal. Hunt's over it here. Did he dive on top of it? Did he drag it under? There's your answer. Margin 36.
Jones streaming through the attacking 50 there. Had Gilbert running for him. Gilbert would have been able to kick from 35 or 40, but decided to go it alone. Didn't make the distance. Ball in dispute again. Another bounce.
Face the footy!
Biggest lead of the match. Geelong's way, 47 points.
Interested to know who you thought is the best player on the ground today, Das. Give you a bit of time to think about that.
Blake gets it down. Kaczynski off the ball, who snaps from 30. The mark taken by Taylor, who's been very impressive today.
15 touches for Taylor.
Yeah, like his game. Ablett. Taylor, Ablett again. And close to the line, but it's okay. Mark taken by Milburn in the back pocket.
Ablett's had 21. What sort of an impact on the game do you reckon he's had, Luke?
I mean, he's been very good, but not at his absolute brilliant best. When you think of Gary Ablett dominating, you think of 3 or 4 bounce runs and long goals, but he's been solid. Matthew Scarlett for mine, Hutto, he's had 24 disposals and he's just so solid.
Bartel didn't have any mates to lay it off to there. Ling clever on Del Santo. You've got Hunt working for him through the middle, and he saw that. And Josh Hunt, a rare venture into the forward line. And listen to the response of the fans.
How good Cameron Ling here.
Oh, yeah. Brilliant, wasn't he?
It's just a dead set one-on-one contest. In fact, he was out of position initially. He was able to take the mark, pants halfway down around his ankles, and then still found Josh Hunt.
That's a real skill in itself.
He didn't have to break
with your
stride.
pants halfway down.
Gee. Great work from Cameron Ling. Margin 42 points.
Does Ablett, we talked about him before, he said 21 disposals. How many missed targets do you reckon he's had out of 21?
0.
Correct.
Oof.
You've got all the answers, haven't you?
Blake, Bartel, well done in the grasp. He was able to get the handball to Ablett. Missed his, no, well, hang on, no,
Yes.
He did miss it. Graham, off to Jones. Goddard, ball, looping handball back to Jones. So St Kilda now can set up another attack. Kick wasn't great. Didn't give Blake much of a chance. And I thought that was more on the side, but free kick to Bartel at half-back.
Wanted to comment on how many times there's Revolt contesting against 2 or 3. Every time, I reckon I've seen a dozen occasions where he's had to fly and smash his body in, and he gets up sore and he looks as though it's taken a toll on his body. He's such a good player. He's your biggest asset. It's not what you want to see, is him flying against 3 or 4 bodies every time.
Spotting Darren Milburn there. Ablett. He's got Corey over the top if he wants him. Hawkins long. Maybe just the goals beyond him. Mooney gives him an option in the pocket. Hawkins says kick it long, but Milburn says you have to wait, because Harry Taylor, who's been impressive today, has the job of bringing it in. He goes via Ling and Harley. Bit of a run up for Tom to the square. Gamble came late, but Kazitsky was too big a mountain to climb.
Off to Montagna. Floats it back towards the wing, but it's all Geelong. And Ablett finds another target. Blake off a step, casually kicks it to Corey, who marks at centre half forward. Into the final 5 minutes of game time. Joel Corey, another big day for him, coming in for disposal number 27. Stokes, no free kick there. Ling, intent on jamming it on the boot. It's offline. Big leap at the back by Milburn, but a boundary throw in the forward pocket.
Clanger kicks are 17 to 10. St Kilda have had 17 clanger kicks, and their kicking efficiency today down to 62%, 70 for Geelong. It's been such a massive difference in the game watching the ball use of this side, Geelong, and well, the turnovers from St Kilda have just been very frequent.
Montagna getting the advantage of the 50 this time. Margin sitting at 42 at the moment. And we talked earlier about Geelong's recent record. I think they averaged 78 points at the Dome in their last 7 outings, so it'll be under that today. Revolt for possession 17. He's taken 13 marks. He still hasn't kicked more than 3 goals against Geelong.
Oh, there, Joe.
And they're going a long way home here, the Saints. Gilbert. Oh, straight into the man of the mark.
No one in front of him.
No one in front at all.
They can get out.
He finally got some help. Hawkins just shoveled it out. In fact, he threw it.
Hawkins, Gilbert, free kick.
If you got through there, Stokes, he had no one in front of you, and 70 metres to go.
Right.
They organise themselves really well, Geelong, now. They've pushed everyone back. They know that there's only a few minutes left in the game, and they're prepared to just slow it down, defend really hard.
Fisher and Dempster. So, Das, how do we assess this performance by the Saints?
Just shows the gap, I think, between the best side of the comp, Geelong, and the rest is a fair way at the moment. They were brave. I think they came out and again, just the pressure and the turnovers.
Might land a late score here. No, it's away to the right, and it's through for a behind.
They've thrown everything at the Cats today. They came out, and I thought it was a really great performance in the first quarter, but their skill level has been a big gap. They've been beaten in contested footy again for the last 3 quarters. So there's a fair bit to work on for the Saints. Having said that, they lost Xavier Clark early. Robert Harvey, it appears as though he did some sort of muscle strain. So there were a couple of men down, and that really wasn't helpful.
That was at a fairly crucial stage in the match too, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were really coming at that stage. And it's been a big talking point in footy. Can you compete if you're a couple of men down on the interchange? It's probably getting tougher and tougher.
Cameron Ling, Enright, Cats just sharing the ball around. And as we tick deeper into the game, 26 minutes in, final term.
Ling 27 possessions, 5 marks and a goal. Del Santo 18 possessions.
Blake didn't quite break the tackle, but got it to Ling. He was well tackled by Hayes. Del Santo going in hard again, wrapped up, and a bounce between centre and centre half forward for St Kilda.
Almost the heart and soul of Geelong, Cameron Ling, isn't he? He just puts his hand up for the toughest job every week. Still wins so much of the footy and shuts down great players week in, week out.
Enright off to Ablett. Not too much on, just waits. Bides his time until Selwood appears. Kick towards full forward and working to the front. Steve Johnson Handball, casual one into the goal square, and Stokes misses. Desperate stuff that by Gilbert. And that was looking like the easiest goal that Stokes would ever kick. And somehow Gilbert got a finger on nail on him. Now they've turned it over again. Chance for Gamble. Stokes this time gives it away to Johnson, who gave him the last one, and Johnson doesn't miss. Margin now 48 points. And well done by Ryan Gamble, who's been a good player, along with many others for the Cats this afternoon.
Bit of a wry smile on Steve Johnson's face, wasn't it? Because he gave one off to Stokes in the goal square before. And
Here it is. How did he manage to not kick this?
he sort of tripped over his own feet in the end. The only problem Geelong's got is they may well be too unselfish. They're prepared to give it off with about 5 metres in front of goal. If that's your only problem, you're in good shape.
Blake, Bartel, Hayes, good powerful force out of the middle, linking up with Luke Ball. Saints fans would love to see Ball land this one. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be. And the question marks still remain over Luke Ball's kicking. I mean, he was pretty much out of petrol there, but margin is 48.
Ablett off to Corey, coming in for disposal number 28. They work it forward again. Maguire missing the mark. Hayes, what have you thought of Maguire's first game back, Luke?
He's having a bit of a tussle there with Cam Mooney behind the play. Look, he's tried really hard, Mooney and Maguire, just a little bit of feeling there. Probably just needed the run. He will get better and better, but I've been impressed. He's moved well, he's competed hard. Once he gets a bit more footy under his belt, he's going to be very important for St Kilda.
So a bounce in the midfield, 29 minutes in. Margin 48. Corey kept the hands clear. Ablett couldn't get an effective disposal away this time. Kazitsky almost threw it out towards Ball. Off to Xavier Clark. Good shepherd from Geary. Wide. Montagna sets it up, and Big Fraser marks 40 from goal.
Darren, go and step it out if you want.
So Fraser Gehrig, who's
10 metres the other side.
been manned up all afternoon by Scarlett. And the big boy will kick after the siren from 45 and kicks a goal for the St Kilda side. Well done, Fraser Gehrig. But the Cats have prevailed again. The final margin, 42 points.